I was watching this Miley Cyrus song on YouTube, and the name of the song is "I Miss You." Um, Before that song, I know my hair is really crazy this time, but this is the real me, and this is probably the only time I'm ever gonna open up about something that's so hard for me. You know, this video is not even edited. It's not gonna be edited. It's just me, the way that nobody ever sees me. And so she wrote a song for her grandpa called "I Miss You." And before that song, it had a performance of her with her dad, and it just made me think like I don't have a dad. You know, my dad just wasn't there. My dad didn't want to be part of my life. My dad doesn't not want to be part of my life, and it's always so hard. You know, it's really hard. A lot of people say that, oh well, you know, I have my mom or I have a family member, but the truth is, if you're like me and you've been through this, then it's not alright. It's never alright because I'm gonna be 19 on Friday, and to this day, I wonder why. Like, you know, when you're little, you think, well, if it's my fault. You know, it's okay. You know, you make up excuses for them, and that's what I used to do. I used to make up excuses, and I used to always tell myself, you know, one day he's gonna come home, and one day he's gonna be my dad. But that day never came, and I waited for a long time, but he never showed up, and he just didn't want to be there. You know, when I was really small, I was like 7 or 8. I was 7. I lived in Cuba with my mom. My whole family is from Cuba, and I had gone to see my dad. And when I got to the door to his house, he lived with my grandma. Um, he opened the door, and I was with my mom standing there, and I was so excited because you know, he used to be like my superhero. Yeah, I used to look up to him. I remember that my dad, he's a cop. He went to war and he did a lot of things. So I always wanted to be like him. I wanted to make him proud. I wanted to be brave, and I always tried to do things to prove to him that I was like him. You know, that we were like one. And I went, and when he opened the door, he just stood there. And then his girlfriend, or I'm guessing it's his girlfriend, came behind him, and she's like, "Oh, no, may I help you?" And I was just looking at my dad like, "Hello, I'm here. Should be excited," or you know, whatever. And he just said, "No, they've got the wrong address," and he closed the door in my face. And it's so crazy, you know, to think about that because every day, like every time I have a problem with anyone, or every time that something's going wrong, I just run away from it. I don't want to deal with it because I feel like they're gonna slam the door in my face again. You know, I go back to that moment and I see him and I see the door and I see, and you know, I just, I really don't want to cry, but this is probably the only time that I'm ever gonna get to really be myself, really be open about anything, because people don't know anything about me. There is nothing that, you know, I'm just never being myself completely. I don't feel like I could open up to anyone. And you know, seeing that video just kind of made me realize how fucked up my life has been because of that. And that's maybe the reason for all my mistakes and everything that I've done wrong. And you know, I love my daughter to death, I really do, but sometimes I think to myself, you know, maybe if my dad would have been around, things would have been different. You know, he would have maybe you know, just I wouldn't have been the person I am today, you know. After that, I grew up trying to be like a tough kid, and I was fighting a lot in school. I went and I would get suspended a lot. I was a bad kid. And then I started hanging with the wrong crowd. I started drinking really young and trying to do all these things. And my mom is such a good mother. I mean, really, I love that lady to death. And I've worried her so much. I used to come home drunk. She used to cry, like, Linda, why are you doing this? You know, like, there's gotta be an answer to it. And you know, my mom always talked good about my dad. To this day, my mom has nothing bad to say about him. Like, to me, even though he did so many bad things to her. You know, he left her when I was 2 years old, and he was never really there, but for her either. But she never talked bad about him. And sometimes I wish she would, because it's like, just, I know you're thinking it, just say it. You know, you're not saying what I say because you don't want to make me hate him or whatever the case may be, but it's too late, you know, it's already there. And I know that I'm never going to be fine until I talk to him or he gives me an answer or something, letting me know what happened. What did I do wrong or what went wrong? Maybe that's why I want my daughter, you know, my daughter's father to be in her life so much, because I don't want her to go through this. I don't want her to wonder every day what it would have been like, you know, to have your dad. And so if you have your mom and your dad, even if you're separated, but you still have a relationship with your dad, really, you know, appreciate that, because not everybody has that. And even though your parents may annoy you sometimes, my mom annoys me a lot, but I really wish I had that relationship with my dad. And nobody knows that, because the people that do know my story, they think that I don't care. You know, that's the way I put it. Like, oh, I don't care. You know, it's his loss. And it's crazy that this is going to be like public for everyone to see, because, you know, I don't even talk to my mom about this. But I know that she won't be seeing this unless I show her, because she doesn't know how to get online. I don't know. It's 5:41 a.m. Yeah, it's really late or early. And I just wanted to share that, because you need to appreciate, you know, your family members. Be happy that you have your dad and your mom and all those people that care about you. Because I grew up without that. You know, my family's always been just crazy. And I've been, you know, I've seen things and been through things that not many know. It's crazy. And I can just hope that I can give my daughter a better life. I hope that I can, even though I'm not with her father, I hope that I could give her a mom and a dad, and, you know, I don't know, this is probably the first time I'm ever really being real on a video too, because I always try to be or funny or hyper or something, but this is really me. And you're probably wondering what went wrong with my hair. Well, 5:42 a.m. happened. So just think about that.